Hello, hello, and hello. This is 1189, where I'm commenting on 1189 chapters of the Bible in 1189 days. Now, today, we're going to look at Genesis 26, where we have all the different happenings with Isaac and how they connect with Abraham back then, his father. I think we could just get right into it. Let's get into it. There we go.
Chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said,
Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said,
She is my sister.
For he feared to say, She is my wife.
Lest,
said he,
the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon.
And it came to pass when
Isn't it interesting how both Isaac and Abraham had the same exact experience? Jacob didn't. Ishmael is not written of. Esau not written of. I don't think they had the same experiences because they were very powerful people. They had princes below them, so they had their own. They weren't sojourners like Abraham or Isaac. Abraham, the devil particularly attacked the area because like every bad thing comes from the devil. The famine in the attacks on Job, his cattle, his everything. I believe famines are from the devil, not from God. So all those came to Abraham and Isaac because they were blessed by God, because like God is, the devil's there to test the saints of God, for them to mature into the purpose of God, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't do it intentionally, knowing that you're actually going to be matured. He's just doing it to kill you. That's what he's doing it for. So he's told not to go to Egypt. Why is that so? I believe it's because the Egyptians were much more, they're much more sensual than the Gerarian, the king of Abimelech and his people. Because with Abraham, King Abimelech, and Phicol and all his people, actually God could speak to Abimelech. God couldn't speak. Could God speak to the Egyptians? I don't quite remember. I think they just, some of the people died. I'm not gonna Google it right now. I'm just gonna but Abimelech was less carnal. The word is carnal in the New Testament. Less fleshly. I believe that's why he was told not to go to Egypt. Because, But for now, we can't know for sure, because it's not written. Now, what was I saying before? Isaac, Abraham, these are parallels. Both say that my wife is actually my sister. Both go to a king called Abimelech. And we're going to see later on, he has a friend called Phicol as well. I don't know if it's the same Abimelech, but it seems, I don't think it would be the same Abimelech, because what are the chances of your friend still being alive, you still being alive, after all these years, as the same kind of person that's looking for the child of Abraham, the wife. Oh goodness, man! I'd expect him to know at least that, okay, this is a child of Abraham. Maybe I should go check out who his wife is, but no. So it's just a thought that this is maybe his son. Maybe Abimelech is like a term. It's like the It's like Pharaoh or something. Fickle could also be something such as member of parliament or something. I don't know. The trustee. Maybe Fickle is also the name of a position rather than the name of a name of a person. Yes. So what I wanted you to see here. Okay, I'm going to discuss that later on. Moving on.
He had been there a long time that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said,
Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, she is my sister?
And Isaac said unto him,
Because I said, lest I die for her.
and Abimelech said,
What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us.
And Abimelech charged all his people, saying,
He that toucheth this man, or his wife, shall surely be put to death.
Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great.
All right, what do we see here? We see that God blesses you in the place that He has demanded you to be. If you went to Egypt and did all the different 5-step plans to success, 5 steps to success and all that in planting and getting harvest, you wouldn't have gotten anything, because God had told him that if you go there, just don't go there, stay here. Now just stay where God has told you to be, and you'll be blessed. That's the thing. Stay in the Word of God.
For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him, for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And
Right, so for all the wells which his father had dug up, the Philistines had filled with earth. Now, real quick, I just want to check what the meaning of Philistine is. Real quick. Very quick. With my usual people, the Aberrant Publications, these guys are very accurate. And they say when they don't know also, which is an important thing. I don't know if they've done Philistine. They must have. Okay, Palestine? Come on, guys, no. Okay, yeah, alright, cool. There it is. Yeah, so in Hebrew, the name Palestine or Philistia and the name Philistine are pretty much the same. And Philistine literally means one of Palestine, Philistia. The Philistines are descendants of Kasluhim, who were the sons of Misraim, son of Ham, son of Noah. Right, moving on. The name Palestine seems to be related to the verb palash, denoting expression of intense grief. So we see that the Palestinians oh goodness, doesn't this speak to our days? I don't want to get too political, but we see the fights between Palestine and Israel, how it's attracting the attention of the whole world. It's interesting, isn't it? So these that are mourners, or causing to mourn, cause people to mourn, because Philistia means grief, intense grief. Land also, it says for a meaning of the name Palestine, Jones' Dictionary of Old Testament proper names goes with the verb mentioned above, focuses on its meaning of to roll around unforgivingly, translates Palestine with the land of the wanderers. That's kind of the same thing as Gerar. So I'm not going to go with this land of the wanderers. I'm going to go with the original, the Palash, the grief. So the grief, so they fill the well with earth. They are kind of against the because the well is the revelation, the inspiration of the Spirit. Jesus said, out of you will flow rivers of living water, and this he spake concerning the Spirit. You can Google that and find it on the internet. Right, so they dig up, they fill the wells with earth. The earth is the first Adamic nature. Adam was made from the earth. So they fill it with the flesh, the works of the flesh. they say, no. Let's cover this with religion, please. No. So this is a spiritual interpretation. But with the physical, Palestine is actually an enemy of Israel. And Israel is actually an enemy of Palestine. It's Abimelech. Father is king. That's so they believe in the father as a king, but they don't believe in the son. Neither do Israel at the current moment, but they will be saved. So, yes. But then there's also there's also a spiritual interpretation to Abimelech and all the other things that we're gonna come into in this chapter. Sorry. So for now, let's move on.
And Abimelech said unto Isaac,
Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham.
Now I want you to pay attention to what's going on here, because at the end of the chapter we're going to see him naming one of the wells Beersheba. Yet it was already named Beersheba when Abimelech made an agreement with Abimelech and Abraham made an agreement, an oath, the well of the oath. So it says the wells which Abraham dug. Did he dig wells? Let's just assume he dug 2 wells. Let's just, because it's wells means plural. Could have dug 6, could have dug 7, but let's just assume he dug 2. Because we only see him digging 1 in the past, in Genesis 25, I believe. Yeah, so let's just assume 2 for now, and we're going to count how many Isaac has. And yeah, we'll just count after this one, just to be sure, because we don't want to make any assumptions by just saying, oh, he made 2 wells and da-da-da. Let's move on.
And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of spring.
We called them the names after which his father named. We don't see any account of Abraham naming any wells. No wells at all. In John 4, with the woman at the well, it was the well of Joseph, I believe. Okay, this is stuff, but we have to move on.
Bringing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying,
The water is ours.
And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they...
That literally means, Esek literally means contention. So yeah, there we have it. Moving on, strife and stuff. Palestine and Israel. Yep.
They digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence.
Sitnah literally means, as well, it has a similar meaning. It means strife. So contention, strife between these 2 nations. Moving on.
And digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said,
For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
And he went up from thence.
Right, so he digs 2 wells. 2 wells. Could we just make something of that? Could we just try something? So, this has been a principle in all my commentaries. So if you haven't gotten it by now, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So Peter says, 1 day with the Lord is as 1,000. Yeah, and 1,000 is as a day. 1,000 years is as a day with the Lord. So 1 day equals 1,000 years. Hosea says as well in Hosea something. It says on the second day he will, I think it says, come amongst us, and on the third day on the second day he will revive us, and on the third day he will raise us up to be in his presence. So on the first well there is strife. On the second well there was contention. In the second well there's strife. Now, on the third well, there is space. He has given me space. So we see that the contention between Palestine and Israel will only end at the end of 2,000 years. But that's a stretch, though. It's a mad stretch, because here we don't even see days, we just see wells. But it's always good to connect these things. Always good. Always. Alright, I shall move on. I guess I'm done there. Yeah, so we're now counting the wells. Esek, number 1. And then Sitna, number 2. Then Rehoboth, number 3. There we have it. Let's keep counting. And we heard before that Abraham had wells which he named some certain names, but we don't know them right now. And we're assuming that the 2, 3, I don't know. Okay, but for now we have 3 for sure that have names. Moving on.
Thence to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said,
I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake.
And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then
Right, so that's the fourth well right there. So at Beersheba, the well of the oath, we saw in a few chapters before, it represents the law, because the law is a covenant between two people, God and man. You know, the new covenant is a agreement between one person. It's God's declaration of righteousness over whoever may believe. So it's a one-way thing. You just believe, and I'm going to do all the rest. Don't worry. I'll work the work in you. Work out your salvation with fear and trembling, for it is God who works in you, both to will and to do, according to his good pleasure. So, why did he build this thing? Why did God meet him at Beersheba? I believe it's because that's the revelation he was at. That's the place he was at. He was at the level of communing with God on a double basis, because the law comes to show people that they cannot do it on their own. So yeah. We see that God appeared to Abraham in Ur, the place of light, the light of the glorious gospel, Ur of the Chaldees. But he appears to Isaac in Beersheba. So we see the different levels at which God appeared to them. So when you grow up in a Christian home like Isaac did, in a believing home like Isaac did, God will appear to you and first show you that you cannot do this on your own. And then he will then give you the promise. Yeah? I believe it's accurate-ish. Okay, I believe we can move on.
Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahazath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And
now, Phicol appears here again. But now we see another friend, another person moving in. His name is Ahuzath. Ahuzath means... I'm going to first get the meaning of Phicol. Actually, I believe that will be much better. Much better. Because now we see with Abraham, Abimelech came with Phicol. Now, Phicol is two words. Phi, meaning mouth, and a second part of the name looks like the word call, according to Abraham Publications, which means all. So the mouth of all. So the mouth of and the mouth of all. So as I said back in the chapters when Abimelech and Abraham were giving their promises to each other to not betray each other's trust and stuff, it was in the mouth of all, and it was a Beersheba, the well of those, testimony between two people, a covenant between two people, and it depends on the righteousness of both of the people. So now here we also have Ahuzath, meaning to grasp or to take hold of. So So we see that. What could we look at this? So we see Abimelech taking possession of the mouth of all. Father is the king father taking possession of the double testimony in a way. I guess we could say that. Yeah, we could say that. So we also see this with him being at Beersheba, him revealing himself to Isaac at Beersheba. So he revealed himself to Isaac in the plans that I'm not bringing in the law. The law came in, Paul said in Galatians. The law entered in with stealth. So we see it entering in a bit with Isaac, a bit with Jacob, a bit with Joseph, coming in, then boom, Moses brings it in. Moses gave the law. The law was given by Moses. Moses was not really part of the law, he just gave it. He was a friend of God, he knew the plans of God. But grace and truth came by Jesus Christ, that's personal. So, I guess, so Ahuzath is possession of the law. But we didn't have the possession of the double witness in Abraham's time. It's only Isaac's.
And Isaac said unto them,
Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me and have sent me away from you?
And they said,
We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee. And let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee. And as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord.
And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had...
Oh, sorry. I just came to part of the well. I was supposed to say something, but then the well caught my eye.
And said unto him,
We have found water.
And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beer.
Right, so we're at 4, right? But then, so Esek, Sitna, what's the other one? Rehoboth. And then there was a certain well that they dug. So that's 4. So now Beersheba, Sheba means 7. So this had to be the 7th well that they were digging. So now this 4, we have to have 2 others. We have to have 2 other wells somewhere. So we have to say that Abraham dug this other well. These are the 2 wells at the beginning. So he named these 2 wells something that we don't know. Moving on. We have to move on from there. But it mentions something just there. So I wanted to check if Abraham gave them food, because it doesn't say that. Because it would be an interesting thing to see that Isaac is the only one that gave Abimelech food. Because Yitzhak, Isaac, is like a type of the end of the after the millennium. Abraham is a type of during the millennium, where those who are believers now will be priests and kings unto the Most High God, priests after the order of Melchizedek. Jesus being the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. So Abraham is like a type of Israel during the millennium, in a way. Yeah. So when all Israel gets saved and they see Jesus and they say, "Are these? How'd you get them piercings, bro?" And that's nothing to laugh about, actually. That's some tough stuff. So they're gonna ask him, "Where did you get those holes in your hands?" And then he'll say, "I got them from my brothers." So, and then they'll realize that's us, and then they'll weep and weep and weep. So that speaks of Abraham coming out of Ur of the Chaldees. We also see that Abraham was born in was it 1948, either BC or after. No, it was BC. Should have been BC. And then we see the formation of Israel, 1948 AD. So yeah, we have all these connections. Now with Isaac is a type of everyone being in is entering in of the seed of the first fruits, because Isaac is a seed, of course, and then we're going to see with the whole, with us being the first fruit, as James said is in chapter 1, we're first fruits of his creation. So we're going to be new creatures, but we're going to be new creatures on the earth for 1,000 years, restoring the earth, and the earth is groaning for that time. However, there'll be a new after the millennium. There'll be a new heaven and a new earth, and that's when the type of Isaac comes in. So I'm just trying to connect all these things. It takes time. It takes time. Oh my goodness, it takes so much time and concentration and just everything, really. So I want to check where Abraham meets Abimelech. Shall I find it? Who knows? Let's see. Blessing, I'll bless thee. That's okay. And just bear with me a second. We're almost done. More than a second, actually. Just kidding. Yes. And then Abimelech called Abraham, and Abimelech said, "What sowest thou?" Okay. So, behold, I've given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he's coming to cover the eyes. Oh my goodness. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that, because there's like too many chapters and too many verses and too many things. Okay, moving on.
Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith.
So was it called Beersheba because of Abraham and Abimelech, or is it called Beersheba because of Isaac and his servants? That's the question. That's like, what's going on, people? What's going on? Maybe we'll find out one day. Moving on.
The daughter of Beuri the Hittite, and Bashemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
So that's a setup for chapter 26. No, 27. Should be 27. Yeah, and I'll see you tomorrow.